This week on Women in Sports, all eyes were on the WNBA All-Star Game last weekend, but it was a push for better pay that grabbed everyone's attention. How the best in the league are making their case. Plus, a member of the Frost is passing on her skills to the next generation. A look at Taylor Heise's new hockey camp. And later, we'll meet the Lady Loons, see how this softball team is living out a childhood dream.
WCCO's Women in Sports, sponsored by Franson Bank and Trust.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielle Mohs, and here at WCCO, we are celebrating the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share news stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve. Well, the brightest stars of women's basketball put on a dazzling display at the All-Star Game last weekend. Lynx superstar Napheesa Collier's team beat Team Caitlin Clark 151-131. But the biggest battle was actually off the court. Pay Us What You Owe Us shirts were donned by all the players before the game, the majority of the most influential WNBA players. Collier spoke after the game about fans breaking out in a pay them chant.
The fans doing that chant, that was like gave me chills. And so the fact that we've kept this so present and so in the conversation, it's definitely, of course, like never left my mind because of that. And, you know, this could possibly be like a CBA 7 years. You never know how much longer you have to play. And so obviously I'm taking this really seriously for myself, but also for the future generations. We are setting up the next CBA. You always have to think about that as well.
Well, these days there are even more eyes than ever tuning in to watch these stars like Collier, Clark, Angel Reese, and Asia Wilson. TV viewership is up 23% versus last year. Attendance is up 13%. And merchandise sales are up 40%. A new media rights deal valued at $2.2 billion kicks in next year, which is multiple times higher than the previous media agreement. And salaries right now range from $66,000 to just under $250,000. Talks between the league and players are ongoing to replace the collective bargaining agreement from 2020, which expires this October. Well, Taylor Heise has become one of the top women's hockey players on the planet and is now eyeing her first Olympic team. Ren Clayton was there as she debuted her new hockey camp to pay it forward to the next generation.
All right, so my name is Taylor Heise.
It's a hockey camp with the Taylor Heise touch.
I don't do things the same way as other people. I feel like the reason why I was able to be so good at a young age was I was doing things other people weren't. Today we're going to do a lot of tight turns. We're going to work on edge work, and we're going to get the goalies a lot of shots.
Just a couple years removed from her Gopher career, Heise has an avid following. This weekend, fans turning to students with a detailed teacher.
She makes super smart plays, and she's really good at shooting. Like, she's always like top shelf and always in the right position.
Heise's Frost are back-to-back PWHL champions. It's been all systems go for a while now, and Heise isn't one to slow down.
I've taken the last month to just kind of understand my body, feel a little bit better. I had broken a finger, my thumb in playoffs, just trying to get that back to normal and just trying to understand and wrap my head around kind of the last 2 years. It's been a whirlwind.
Heise and former Gopher hooper Parker Fox recently got engaged. But don't expect wedding bells soon. It's an Olympic year.
Obviously, this is going to be my first one if I were to make that team. It's the focus level. It's, you know, everything's kind of times 10. It's a really important time of year.
Like many of those names up on that wall used to be, now Taylor Heise has become the face of women's hockey in Minnesota.
Kind of getting used to that a little bit, but exciting because it means I get to do really fun things and be a part of really cool opportunities like this.
Ren Clayton, WCCO Sports.
It's back, a July hockey tradition. It's called the Beauty League, and for a second year in a row, it features women's hockey players here in Minnesota. The games are played in Edina, starting with some of the top NHL players. Here's Mike Max.
On a warm July night, they come inside to find a unique hat, to get an informal look, to take in a Minnesota summer pastime.
The words of Canadian hockey players, and they'd score, they'd say, "That's a beauty."
The Beauty League. It didn't start strong 8 years ago.
After the first night, I thought the thing was going to tank. A bunch of guys didn't show up. Chris McAlpine was responsible for one team. His calls didn't go through, apparently, and we had guys playing double games.
But 8 years later, it keeps scratching an itch for fans and NHL participants.
Lindgren.
In an atmosphere that kids can get close, which brings back memories to being a kid.
As a kid growing up, this would be like a dream for me. I can't imagine what it's like for them to have all the pro guys here in Minnesota be in their backyard.
What's it do for your hockey skills? Just kind of keep you sharp and in tune?
Yeah, a little conditioning. I mean, there's probably not the most stops and starts out here.
All right, here they come. Last year, they added a new dimension. The final game of each night is reserved for 2 women's teams. Players from the Frost and the Area Extended extend their season out of the spring as well, to stay sharp, to maintain the compete level.
That's a beauty.
It's part training, part feel good, but always good to be at the rink.
It's super fun. I think it's good to get a bunch of girls out here together and we have a fun time. And as much as it's competitive, we all like smiling and having fun out there.
Yes, it's hockey season. Not traditional, but enough to keep fans and players coming back.
People having fun, and some people are just sitting there watching hockey and won't take their eyes off it. It's an absolute, the fun factor is really high in this league.
And moving on to tennis, it's not over for #1 ranked Venus Williams. The 45-year-old has now become the second oldest woman to win a tour-level singles match. She beat 23-year-old Peyton Stearns in 2 sets earlier this week at the DC Open. Martina Navratilova was 47 when she picked up her last singles victory in 2004. Also this week, Williams was awarded a wildcard entry for next month's Cincinnati Open. The tournament is a hardcore tune-up for the U.S. Open. Williams has won 7 Grand Slam singles titles and 14 more doubles with her sister Serena, plus 2 in mixed doubles. Over to swimming, a battle between Katie Ledecky and Summer McIntosh. The World Championships are taking place in Singapore right now. Canada's McIntosh wants to become the second swimmer to win 5 individual gold medals at a single Worlds, after Michael Phelps. You can call it a run for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028, and comes just about a month after she set 3 world records in just 5 days. But in her way is American Katie Ledecky. She's hoping to become the first swimmer to win a 7th world title in one event. Only both won't be able to complete their feats because they're expected to face off in the 800-meter freestyle final. And it was Ledecky who set the world record for the event during the Paris Olympics last year. So a little bit of an edge for her. Over to golf as Minnesota gears up for the 7th annual 3M Open tournament. Before the pros all showed up to play, hundreds of kids got to learn more about the game of golf. I went to TPC Twin Cities for a preview.
And then we've got 60 seconds to make as many shots as possible.
Kids got a chance to test their skills in one of the hardest parts of anyone's golf game, the chip shots.
They do a pretty good job of simulating what it's going to be like on a course where you have like a good hill, or it's going to be rolling back if you don't get it up on the right hill.
This is one of several new simulations this year inside Fan Village on the tournament grounds. Over 500 kids from around the Twin Cities got to try the putting challenge. Nice job! As well as whack the ball as far as they could in a simulation of the actual 18th hole that the pros play on.
Not a lot of people get the opportunity to do this kind of stuff.
10-year-old Hope Mwangi just started learning golf a few months ago through First Team Minnesota, and she's already hooked.
It's kind of calming, and you get outdoors and you get to be with nature.
The kids also got a chance to improve their game among some big names, including Timberwolves star guard Mike Conley, former Wolves player Wally Zerbiak, and former Vikings player John Randall. 3M's Chief Public Affairs Officer Tori Clark says they hope kids can also learn while having fun.
Golfers get up every morning going, okay, how can I hit the ball further? How can I hit it more accurately? That's what the science and technology does. It plays a huge role.
Even more important than learning is giving. Just by purchasing a ticket, fans are donating dollars back into the community.
Since 2019, $8.5 million given back to Minnesota charities.
And many of us here in Minnesota know the importance of off-season leagues for top talents. Here's Ren Clayton again to explain one specific league and how one hockey player is taking full advantage of it.
Sophie Stramel is skating in the summer. That's normal, but these games are not.
Growing up, you play in the summers with all those Minnesota girls, and then kind of when you get to college, it's usually just like, there's no more like weekend tournaments. It's kind of just like you can train with the Minnesota girls, but you can't really play games. And this is what like the Selly League has brought.
The Selly League is a slate of games for Division I women's hockey players.
It's gameplay. It's gameplay, and it gets the juices flowing. They get competitive.
Randy Keppel, the Holy Family girls coach, started the league 3 years ago to fill a need.
And a couple of our 22 girls had just graduated, and they were kind of complaining that they didn't really have anything going on. So I said, well, let's put our heads together.
And so the league was born, now with the addition of a high school version. That's where Stramel played last summer before a fantastic senior season, wherein she led Rosemount to the state semifinals.
To go out on such a big run, like our third year in a row going to state, for 8th grade me would have been like, heck no, that's not happening.
Like many, Stramel is part of a hockey family you might recognize. Older brother Charlie was a first-round draft pick by the Minnesota Wild just 2 years ago.
Competitive for sure. Like our parents are always honest about how well we're doing and that type of thing. So like just having him as my role model is really special to me just because he's accomplished so much, which that also makes me want to accomplish so much.
Now Sophie's taking that next stride forward. College hockey at Minnesota State Mankato, with the Selly League as a stepping stone.
Bringing more fun to like the game of hockey in the summer, and it kind of brings you back to your youth a little bit, playing with those girls that you're never going to play with or against ever again.
Hockey is a year-round sport in Minnesota, that's for sure. These next ladies will prove it's never too late to play the game you love. Let me introduce you to the Minnesota Lady Loons. The women on this softball diamond are living out a childhood dream. As the generation before Title IX, they're making up for lost time.
One more to her.
Going 25 seasons strong as the Minnesota Lady Loons.
To be able to do this at our age and be competitive is a bonus.
Cheryl King is one of the founding members of the senior softball team. The roster of Lady Loons ranging in ages of 70 to 84.
I am the matriarch in my 84th year, proud of it.
Joanne Rawling is a retired fast pitch player turned Lady Loon, never missing a season playing on the ballpark since she was 12 years old.
If you don't use it, you lose it, so I'm using it. I want to use it, and I'm even surprised myself that at this age, I'm doing this.
While these women love the competition, it's the friendships made around the mound that are the real home runs.
It's a second family. We're there for each other. I had operation on my shoulder a couple years ago, and a couple of them came over and spent the night with me, and they came and helped.
For Cheryl, this team lifted her up as she navigated her grief when her husband passed away.
They were there for me. They comforted me. We do that with everyone.
This group has even made history together as the first senior team of both men and women to be inducted into the Minnesota Softball Hall of Fame in 2022. This sport adding so much to their lives, both socially and physically, reminding them how resilient they truly are.
I think just about everybody's had an ache or a pain, but come back all the time, just as strong.
Those ladies are so inspiring to me. The Lady Loons are currently in Des Moines, Iowa, taking part in the National Senior Games. This is the 12th time they've competed against other senior players from across the country. Good luck to them. And thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. We'll be back with more great stories next week. I'm Marielle Mohs.